Hello, everybody. All right, now that we know that, working all right. So, well, first off, let me welcome, of course, welcome our new subscriber, Fish here, Fish 999, waiting from a few minutes ago. Team Lorenzo, met him over on Lorenzo C-Stacks channel. Shared, catch, you have to work, all right. And I said, of course, thank you. So, anyways, we're of course we're just gonna wait a few minutes here before we get started. There we go. Anyways, all right. So let me just take care of a couple of the little things here real quick before we go in here. All right. So, anyways, I'm just waiting for some people to show up here a bit. Of course, if you haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people here. That would be appreciated. Also, if anything we talk about tonight grabs your attention, feel free to comment and/or ask questions. We'll try to answer the questions to the best of our ability. Well, to the best of my ability. Anyways, we're at 2.5 minutes here. Let's see. Wait wait at least about another 30 seconds to a minute before go over what's on tap for tonight. Actually, let me go ahead and take care of something. Go off camera here for a quick moment to take care of something. But while I'm gone, I'll put the music on. So next. All right, so we're back. All right, so coming up on 4 minutes now here. So tonight we're just going to be going over one article. The Indie Comics Showcase from Bleeding Fool, Chris Braley. We're going to look at some of the newer indie comics that are coming out this week that he featured. Looking at some of those. Go over that article. But of course, we'll have the wrestling wrap up. We'll go around the world of professional wrestling. Look at some of the new items that come out in the today. Also, of course, we have this day in each history at the very end, where we, of course, look at some key moments in the past on this date. So, with that, I hope everybody is having a good week thus far. Hope you guys have been enjoying your week and enjoying everything. So why don't we go? I guess I'll get off to a little bit early start here. So go ahead and get going here. All right. So as I said, we're going to go over this article from Bleeding Full in regards to some newer indie comics that are coming out. The Indie Comics Showcase. Go over that article. I like to give you guys a heads up on what's out there. All right. So Indie Comics Showcase number 232, Immortalis Psychotherapy in Spirit of the Dragon Angel of Darkness. Article by Chris Braley, published yesterday. So here we go. And for those of you who may be new to my channel, what I do is I read through the articles. I'll give, kind of a running commentary as I'm reading if anything catches my interest. Just so you're aware. So, welcome back to another installment of Indie Comics Showcase, the weekly blog where we signal boost a few truly independent comics that are currently crowdfunding their projects, crowdsourcing their funding in some way, or just completely self-publishing on their own. Every little bit of support for these creators matters, from a single dollar pledge to the $25 bundle, and of course, the higher tiers are usually fun too. Even if you can't back a campaign or buy a book, you can share or tweet about the project to your friends and followers, or of course, you can catch me covering the article as well on the Mikestand on Wednesday or Thursday, depending which I decide to do it. So let's see if anybody coming in. No. All right. As we continue on here. On Indie Comics Showcase, we interview the creator, show off some art, and tell you how you can check out the product for yourself. Below, we have some outstanding crowdfunding campaigns this week for you to learn about, enjoy, and hopefully support by backing one or more of them. Thanks for checking these out and for being the best part of Indie Comics Showcase. Let's jump in. All right, so we'll get into the article here. Quick here. Let me just think. One. All right, so with that, let me continue on here. All right, so Immortalis by Sean Lewis. All right, so Immortalis. Hey, wow, kind of looks like Sasquatch or Sabretooth. Chris Braley, welcome to Indie Comics Showcase, Sean. Can you briefly tell me what Immortalis is all about? What's the pitch? Sean Lewis. Awakened 200 years in the future, Tam Montefiore finds herself as, I guess that's supposed to be as she, not the, as she decides in, finds herself as a decide in the war between heaven and, okay, that's kind of a weird way of saying that, but heaven and hell and the old gods of myth. Each issue of Immortalis is 22 full-colored pages filled with action, wit, and a touch of treachery. Wow, what a lot of people like in comic books, right? We all like a little bit of, as they put it here, action, wit, and a touch of treachery. All right. So Chris asks, where did the idea for this comic come from, and made you decide to self publish it? Sean, Immortalis was created by Rion Mosley and myself. Immortalis started out as a story about a quote female Frankenstein during World War One, unquote, and after 16 months of outlining, rewrites, and reevaluations, it became the story of a war between heaven and hell and the old gods of myth. We wanted to be able to tell the story we wanted, how we wanted, and when we wanted. So we took the crowdfunding route to maintain full control of Immortalis. Yes, because we all know that if you try to go to the corporate comics, they'll try to change everything and anything and everything they can about it that they find offensive. Hey Shadowhawk, thanks for dropping in, my friend. Oh, Mike in the chat. If you haven't already, of course, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here. Also, if anything catches your attention here, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So, with that, let's continue on here. Let's see. Chris, what kind of comic readers is this suited for? Let's see. Sean replies, Immortalis is a 6 to 8 year fantasy drama filled with hard-hitting action, witty dialogue, and heart. Readers of Hellboy, Frank Miller, American God, Cormac McCarthy, and Alfred Bester will be able to find something or some characters they feel a connection to. Although for somewhat mature readers, Immortalis does not include salacious sex or nudity. So basically, the material is overall generally more adult, more mature, but it's not over the top mature. This is what he's saying. Let's see. Chris, tell me a little about your style and creative process. Sean, in the mid 2000s, I wrote the one shot Force 51 and the miniseries Purity. Purity was optioned by Kickstart ENT and championed by Samantha Olson Shear in Hollywood. After multiple table reads, Kickstart ENT had Hollywood types do a rewrite of Purity. Purity died a slow, uninteresting death, and the rights have reverted back to me. I really, really, really like the crowdfunding route, having full creative control of my projects. Yeah. As long, of course, as you know which crowdfunders to go to, like Fund My Comic. Chris, talk about your creative team that contributed to this project. Sean, Rion Mosley and I created the characters and I wrote them. We've also been lucky enough to have teamed with awesome creators such as Ben Perkins, Ramad Wisnu, Ediano Silva, Fritz Casas, Chris Anderson, Miguel Galindo, Lucas Assis, and Amal Desai, among many others. Quite an eclectic set of characters, huh? Chris, what's the production workflow like? And if it's not complete, how far along is the book? Sean, all issues received between 4 to 6 rewrites, with 17 issues in final draft. 2 standalone projects involving Immortalis characters in final draft, and issues 1 through 6 complete and printed, and issues 7, 8, and 9 in the hands of various creators currently, letterers, colorists, etc. With getting the last of the details all in there before, of course, for setting off, right? We are also working on a Santa holiday issue with the great Ben Perkins. As long as funding and fans allow it, we plan on Immortalis to have an 75 to 100 issue run. Wow! Quite ambitious for an independent comic run. That's quite an ambitious take. Most of the time, we usually hear guys about just doing like a few issues, a handful of issues, but this sounds like a very ambitious run here to say you want to do 75 to 100 issues. If that's going to be monthly issues, mind you, that could take you, that could be anywhere from a little over 6 years to like almost 9 years, 6 to 9 years right there. We are also working on formatting and a new story for our trade paperback for issue 1 through 6, issue due out later this year. Do you have anything yet? See where we are on time. Huh. Howdy, folks. Howdy there, Shadowhawk. Anyways, let me continue on with the. I'll continue on with the. So, Chris, what have you been learning from self-publishing through this process? Sean, that I hate it, laugh out loud. Algorithms and analytics, data mining, not my wheelhouse. But on the flip side, self-publishing does allow creators like ourselves have control over our IP, as well as giving us an avenue to reach fans that 20 years ago we couldn't. 20 years ago when he had his aforementioned problems. Chris, what are your plans beyond this book? Are there more stories to tell? Sean, Rion is currently outlining a new series, and I am waist deep in rewrites for issues 18 through 24. Wow, so he's already working all. He's almost got a quarter of his book that he's at least working on. Wow, that's pretty impressive. As well as working on the Santa holiday issue with Ben Perkins. Between Immortalis, building crowdfunding, trade paperbacks, and all the entrails, we are pretty busy. I'd imagine so, especially when you're trying to take on such an ambitious campaign there. Chris, any special features or special perks you want to mention? Sean, for the crowdfunders for issues 5 and 6, we did variant covers, and that seems to be going well. We have released up to issue 6 through crowdfunding, and our goal is to bring 8 to 12 issues to fans a year. So just that commitment to deliver a consistent story through crowdfunding let's see. And the year, and just that commitment to deliver a consistent story through crowdfunding makes us a bit unique, in my opinion. Jump on board the Immortalis train. We think you'll be happy that you did. So there we go. Now that sounds like a very interesting story, and it sounds very ambitious, to say the least. Yeah, this plan where you want to try to do 75 to 100 issues, putting out 8 to 12 a year. So that's basically either monthly issue or, a 3/4, or a 3/4ly issue type of thing where you're doing like 8, you basically put out 2 books and one, put out 2 months, put out 2 months and then, just quarterly not do a book. All right, so Psychotherapy by Shaman Tears. All right. The art's interesting here. Black and white art there. Hey, Woody. Hello, world. Hey, Woody. Hope you guys are having a good week thus far. Anyways, as we continue on here. Chris Braley, welcome to Indie Comic Showcase Shaman Tears. Hit me with your elevator pitch for Psychotherapy. Shaman Tears. Psychotherapy is a cynical black humor series starring a ghoulish-looking therapist who never smiles named Psycho, and his unofficial assistant, Suzanne, a spunky, cute 10-year-old girl. The finished book will be 28 to 32 pages and in black and white. So a little surreal type humor here going on. Looks like a surreal book going on here. Sounds pretty interesting. Chris, tell me how you came up with the idea for this comic, Shaman Tears. The idea for Psychotherapy came from my disdain for modern society and the drive to create something of note worth when so much garbage is greenlit in the corporate world. I knew it would only be logical to self-publish a series like Psychotherapy. Would seem to offend, I think you meant to say offend, not offense, but offend, would seem to offense to the masses anyway. Plus, I never liked the idea of giving the rights of my hard work to a big corporation. So basically, second straight, you know, creator we talked to, and then issue about handing over their ideas to corporate money. It just goes to show you that the independent comic industry, the independent comic market is really becoming a much stronger thing. Let's see. Psychotherapy also isn't my first idea for a comic. It's my second. I decided to create Psychotherapy first due to the fact it's much easier to create a 4-panel comic than my other comic, a long-running story-driven series that I've been working on for years. Who do you hope this comic appeals to? Shaman Tears? Chris asked, who do you hope this comic will appeals to? Shaman Tears? Anyone who's into black humor, understands cynicism, and anyone who isn't sensitive. There's a special kind of person who would be put off from a series like this, and those are the kind of people I would never aim to market towards. Yeah, and we know those people, don't we? SJWs, Karens, and the likes. Okay, class. As you all know, gender is a social construct. Gender exists as a spectrum that has no set definition. Um, Mr. Prosthetics, if gender has no set definition, how can one identify as something that cannot be defined? That's an oxymoron. That's transphobic rhetoric, you bigot. Out of my classroom. The hell? Yeah, I can see a lot of the LGBT. I can see a lot of the alphabet agenda activists, the triple A's, um, also known as a holes. You know, um, having an issue with that. Oh boy. Anyways, let's continuing on here. Chris, what can you tell me about your creative style and how you developed it? Shaman Tears. Well, another reason I created psychotherapy was to improve my art. The prototype of my series had awful artwork, which I am not proud of, but but it was a stepping stone to get to where I am now, a more accomplished artist. Since I'm not syndicated, though, I've tried. I usually make a string of comics day by day, usually based of usually based of a random real event or some cynical position on what fascinates me, or sometimes just sports. I try to enhance my style with each new comic, um, which can be seen if you check some of my older work. So now, and because of that, I have a better workflow. This comic is all me, a one man army, the way I like it. For a comic formatted like this, it only takes the mind, body, artistic talent, an individual to work. Why is it that some people of a specific political allegiance advocate for gun control, yet in the same time, many states just passed a permanentless carry, any of the states being Democratic? So which is it? Do you want control or not? Or is it just to strip the opposing political side of power like always? Ah, yeah. So when our founding fathers created the Constitution, it was with in mind that to remind the politicians that they do serve us and that they should fear us. Okay, because if they try to gain too much power, we have every right to do whatever it takes to put them in their place. Um, what's your production workflow like? Chris asked. Shaman, I have over 100 comic strips completed, ready to be published into physical form. I'm still working on new comics every day, even as I do this interview. Because of the fact my art is vastly improved, I think I enjoy drawing more, which has helped to obtain a better workflow. Hmm. Uh, look like Chi- looks like China. It looks like China's done it again, American girl. They've replaced the dollar as a definitive trade currency. I guess sanctioning Russia and laundering billions to Ukraine wasn't too bright. Ah, well, what what do you have to say to that, American girl? I guess you're right. What? Ah! Oh boy, psychotherapy sounds like a fun book. At least a fun book for those of us, probably on that, mindset. Let's see, Chris. Any plans beyond this book? Shaman Tears. Um, I dabble in animation a bit. I'd like to see psychotherapy animated. I think he's meant to say one day, not on day, but one day. But if that never happens, I'm fine with that. Not too keen on modern corporate animation. A lot of us aren't. I think I've told you guys how I actually tried to watch the My Adventures of Superman cartoon and couldn't get past 5 minutes into it before I said nah. Ah. So I'd most likely make it myself if I manage to self-publish psychotherapy. I will try to get more of the series self-published and continue to work on my other comic in the process. Now that I've built a name for myself, isn't it peculiar how we stigmatize drugs and addicts in our media? Stop it! Stop it! Get some help. Legalized week censored. We've had protests and rulings to protect such a privileged group, yet at the same time, Pornhub, OnlyFans, and there are people who overload on porn and addict as if it weren't as serve. Yet it has been replaced to damage the brain like drugs. Okay. Chris asks, anything else you would like to share with our readers before we sign off? Shaman Tears, thanks for reading and check this out. This does look like a fun book. Anyways, I do need to go off camera here for a quick moment. I'll be right back, but hopefully you guys are enjoying the content thus far. Let me just put on some music here. All right, sorry about that. I'm back now. So let's get back to the article here. All right, so Spirit of the Dragon, Angel of Darkness by John Lamont. Very interesting. Wow, very interesting. I don't know if this is supposed to be two separate books that he's pushing or not here. I guess we'll find out. So Chris Braley said, "Welcome to Indie Comic Showcase, John. What can you tell me about your comics? Give me the pitch." John Lamont. Set against the backdrop of the months just prior to World War II, Angel of Darkness tells the story of three British Army officers tasked with gathering conscripts from the British colony of southern Rhodesia when the town is beset by zombies. Meanwhile, across the globe, an orphan teenager is recruited by U.S. Army intelligence to investigate a secret not so wow, an orphan teenager. Wow. That sounds a little anime-ish in terms of having teenagers as protagonists. U.S. Army intelligence to investigate a secret Nazi weapon facility in the basement of her high school in the Spirit of the Dragon. So, wow. This newly launched Second Chance campaign features issues number 1 through 3 of both stories in full color, each issue averaging about 28 pages. So, yeah, he's pushing 2 books here. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if they're in a shared universe. I didn't make it even. Wow. Ooh. Chris, um, where did the idea for this comic come from? John, this story has been long been in the making. I was first inspired by the insane action scenes of Zack Snyder's Sucker Punch. I wanted to tell a story featuring just those amazing scenes without the melodrama. Cute girls in sexy outfits kicking A. Um, and that's what is delivered via Spirit of the Dragon's etchy anime-inspired comic and Angel of Darkness's more traditional comic style. Wow, so he's doing kind of comparative mediums here. One that seems like anime manga style, and the other like more traditional Western animation style. And of course, the schoolgirl uniform thing is really a big thing in Japanese anime, folks. I can tell you that much. Chris, who is it aimed at? John, fans of action, supernatural, and science fantasy stories who enjoy content leaning toward more mature audiences without being overly quote unquote mature. If it were a film, I would probably list him as a soft R suitable for older teens and adults. My background is as a screenwriter, so I typically draft all my scripts in screenplay format first. It provides an easier format for me to develop the action and character development. Once I'm happy with the story, I start converting everything into a quote comic unquote or panel by panel format. Some editing is done here as larger action scenes are condensed into sequential panels. Interesting artwork there. No, nothing new on the commentary front, I guess. All right, as we continue on here. All right, as we continue on here. Let's see. So Chris then asked, who else is on the team contributing to this project? John, Nilton Neo Costa has been my illustrator on Spirit of the Dragon since issue number 1. It's been exciting to watch him grow as an artist over the last 3 issues. I swear he gets better with every subsequent issue he does. I look forward to working with him on future projects. Marcelo Salaza has been working as the illustrator on Angel of Darkness since issue number 2. The initial artist I hired for issue number 1 wasn't working out as he kept turning in subpar work late. However, hiring this artist did introduce me to Alan Emanuel, my amazing colorist on both series, who makes these stories come alive in ways I could not imagine. I would be lost without him. And of course, there's Danny Gorney, my letterer. Danny is a comic creator, editor, and filmmaker in his own right, and I'm happy to have him on the team. Wow, yeah, some pretty racy stuff here. Look at this, the old Catholic schoolgirl bit. Chris, so what's your production workflow like? And where does the production currently stand on these books? John, issues number 1 through 3 of both series are completely finished. Issue number 3 of Spirit of the Dragon is currently with the printer, and I am expecting delivery within the next few weeks. The Fund My Comic campaign, so that's good. He's doing Fund My Comic. Is a consolidated ongoing campaign that will be updated as new releases come out. With my concurrent release schedule, Angel of Darkness number 4 is up next. It's currently in the final stages of production and will be releasing in fall 2023. Chris, that's impressive. Tell me what you've been learning from self-publishing through this process. John, what I love about self-publishing crowdfunding is having a direct connection with my customers and fans. I love being able to engage with them on a personal level and provide them with my content they enjoy reading. Chris, so there are more stories to tell? And are there any special features in this book or special perks um, on the campaign you'd like to mention? John, there are always more stories to tell. I call these two quote unquote sister series. Yeah, kind of a double entendre there, considering that both of them start, both of the protagonists is a girl, so that's got to play into that a bit. And I am currently developing a crossover story that will feature the characters from both series working together to save the world. All variant covers are limited edition and numbered on the back cover. This adds value to each tier, so if you're a comic or speculative art collector, this is a great chance to get some quality artwork by great up and coming artists. Sounds good. Any final thoughts? Chris asked. John, thank you very much for your time and letting me share my stories with you. Writing has been a passion of mine since I was 14, and I am very excited to finally be able to tell these stories in a format that people enjoy. That's it for this installment. If you're a creator ramming up your own campaign or have a comic available for purchase online and you want to be featured in our weekly column, click here. And follow Indie Comics Showcase on Twitter at Indie Comics and reach out to them for more eyes on your crowdfunding comic project. Till next time, support Indie Comics. ... Alrighty then, so that was pretty good there. We're at the 47-minute mark now. I guess we can start wrapping up things a bit here. So, first off, let me go over some wrestling wrap up here. So, in the realm, so with the wrestling wrap up, let me see. In terms of interconnect, so a couple of former WWF, WWE stars have found new home as Scott Garland, aka Scott Taylor, aka Scotty Too Hottie, has now been apparently hired on as a producer slash agent slash coach for All Elite Wrestling. Backstage at last night's Dynamite, helping out with stuff backstage. Also, it was recently announced that Kalisto, a former WWE star, will be making his Impact debut during this weekend's Summer Sizzler tour in Chicago for Impact Wrestling. Now, I believe right now it's just a short-term deal for these two shows. Whether or not he's going to be around for longer than that remains to be seen. So, and speaking, of course, of AEW, as all the one of the shocking things is they have yet to announce any matches for All In, even though the sales records for All In are high up there. So with that there, let's see. On last night's Dynamite, mind you, as well, Orange Cassidy successfully defended his AEW International title against AR Fox in what was a pretty solid match. Later, it would prove that AR Fox would turn heel, joining the Mogul Embassy. Pac defeated Gravity in his one-on-one match. Swerve Strickland defeated Darby Allin with help from AR Fox, as that would. Dr. Britt Baker defeated Taya Valkyrie. And a lot of fans are upset with the way that AEW has been booking women's division. Now, apparently, and I watched portion of the match. Britt didn't look like she was moving all that well in the ring there. Some people have said that she's had some back issues. It might be time to take her off TV and let some other people have the spotlight, and I was never keen on the idea of just bringing Taya in to be a jobber to the stars. That was just she's still kind of at a point in her career where she could be a main eventer if they just gave her a chance. But Tony Khan, sometimes you have to wonder just how far up his head stuck. And then in the main event, saw the Lucha Brothers defeat the Blackpool Combat Club in a three-way tag team match. The Lucha Brothers defeating the Blackpool Combat Club combination of Claudio Castagnoli and John Moxley and best friends Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor, coming off of their recent loss of the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions Aussie Open in a four-way match last Friday. So And also on tonight's Impact Wrestling, as I said, they are preparing for their Summer Sizzler tour. Tonight's before the Impact pre-show, featured a match between digital media champion Kenny King and Sheldon Jean taking on Joe Hendry and Yuya Uemura, the former champion who. And on Impact Wrestling tonight, some of the matches you'll see Danny Luna, the valet / manager of Subculture, teams with Knockouts World Champion Trinity to take on the Coven, the former Knockouts Tag Team Champion, Kylan King and Taylor Wilde. In a loser leaves Impact Wrestling match, Johnny Swinger takes on Zicky Dice. Eric Young makes his return to Impact Wrestling to take on Nick Aldis. Let's see. Giselle Shaw takes on one half of the current Knockouts Women's Tag Team Champion, Masha Slamovich. Of course, Giselle will have Jai Vidal and Samantha Evans in her corner. Masha will have Killer Kelly in her corner. The time splitters of Impact World Champion Alex Shelley and number one contender to the X Division Championship, Kushida, taking on Moose and Brian Myers. Champagne Singh and Shara taking on Darren McCarty and Tommy Dreamer. So those will be the matches that will be on Impact tonight, as Impact will be preparing for their Summer Sizzler tour in Chicago. And in some interesting news that I just found out today as well, Sunday, August 27th, AEW will be having an all-in event from Wembley Stadium. That same weekend, the 26th and the 27th, NWA will be holding its 75th anniversary show at the Chase Park Plaza Hotel in St. Louis, Missouri. Now, matches already signed for the NWA 75 include Tyrus defending the NWA World Heavyweight Championship against EC3, who relinquished the national title upon getting his 7th successful title defense. Lucky 7 to take shot at Tyrus. Camille will be defending the World Women's title NWA World Women's title against Natalia Markova, looking to continue her long streak there, long reign. And Kerry Morton will be defending the NWA World Junior Heavyweight title against Colby Carreno. Those are the matches already signed NWA 75. With that now, let's go ahead and get ready to take a look back at this day in Niche history. History today being Thursday, July 27th, 2023. Let's take a look back this day in Niche history. History! All right, so first off, we're going to head back 70 years ago today. And on this date, 70 years ago today, back in 1953, back in 1953 here, the 45th issue of Lash LaRue Western from Fawcett Comics went on sale on this date back in 1953. So sold for 10 cents. It was 32 pages. So on this date, back 70 years ago today, back in 1953, Lash LaRue Western 45th issue went on sale on newsstand. This date 70 years ago today. Also on this date in 2003, the WWE 20 years ago today, back in 2003, WWE held at Vengeance pay-per-view from the Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado. The event saw, the main event saw Kurt Angle defeat Big Show and Brock Lesnar in a no disqualification triple threat match for the WWE Championship to win the championship from Brock Lesnar. Vince McMahon beat up Zach Gowen. Sabu defeated Stephanie McMahon on a no countout match. Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin retained the tag team championships over Rey Mysterio and Billy Kidman. Let's see. In an APA Invitational Barroom Brawl, Bradshaw defeated the following wrestlers: Shannon Moore, Doink Clown, Farouk, Brother Love. Now, this Brother Love in this case, I think, was Devon Dudley, not Bruce Pritchard. This was the newer one at the time. Oh, wait, maybe it was Bruce. Actually, it was Bruce Pritchard. My bad. So, let's see. Bruce Pritchard. Brother Love. Let's see. Nunzio, Matt Hardy, Chris Kanyon, the Basham Brothers, the Easter Bunny, Sean O'Hare, John Hennigan, who's currently Johnny DB on AEW, Orlando Jordan, Funaki, Los Conquistadors, who in this particular case were being portrayed by Rob Conway and Johnny Jeter, the Brooklyn Brawler, Johnny Samboli, Chuck Palumbo, Matt Capitelli, and Spanky. Jamie Noble defeated Billy Gunn. Eddie Guerrero defeated Chris Benoit in a United States championship tournament final to win the United States Championship. And on the Sunday night heat before the show, Ultimo Dragon defeated Chris Kanyon. So that happened 20 years ago on this date. Now moving on to the next piece of niche history, as on this date 10 years ago today, in 2013, 10 years ago today, 2013, Pokemon Black and White Adventures in Unova and Beyond made its English-speaking debut on Cartoon Network on this date back in 2013. So on this date, 10 years ago today, Pokemon Black and White Adventures in Unova and Beyond premiered on this date 10 years ago on Cartoon Network. The English dub premiered on Cartoon Network. And finally, on this date 5 years ago today, 2018, Warner Brothers Animations, the United States premiere of Warner Brothers Animation Teen Titans Go to the movies, premiered on this date 5 years ago today. So Warner Brothers Animation Teen Titans Go to the movies premiered on this date 5 years ago today. Of course, based on the Teen Titans Go cartoon series. So with that, that's all I have for you for tonight, guys. I thank you for being here tonight. I thank you guys for the likes and the shares. Also, Also, don't forget tomorrow night I'll have Tim Olson on with me as my co-host as we look back to comics that went on sale November 1939. Tomorrow night we're going to be looking at books that went on sale from Fiction House. We're going to be looking at the first issues of Fight Comics and Planet Comics. Hope to see everybody there. And with that, I shall wish you all good night, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.